Basically, a note is a binding document between a lender and a borrower. So if you bought a car on financing, there's a note for that. If you sell or finance your mobile home, there's a note for that. That's basically what a note is. So anytime you hear someone talking about note buying, it could mean buying car notes, it could be buying mortgage notes. That's one of the more common ones. A lot of people do single family notes, but you're talking about single families, you're talking about like $200,000, $300,000. You have to have that cash up front to buy it. So that's why mobile home note investing is a whole different beast. You can get into it with a lot less money and you can have sometimes better returns than you would in single family homes. Um, a note, so a note isn't just made by a lender. A lot of people think you have to go to a major lender to get a note. No, it could be, like I said, seller financing is creating a note. You might have notes. Private investors, some of them will do multiple notes. They'll have hundreds of notes. Sometimes, 21st Mortgage sells off their notes. Keyhole Connect sells off their notes. So you can buy notes from anyone, not just a lender. And so now let's talk a little bit about the two different kinds of notes. You can get a performing note or you can get a non-performing note. A performing note is something that's been paid on time. And there's benefits to each one of them. Like basically a performing note, you're getting something that they've paid on time. You're getting something that's probably, not definitely, but probably going to be paid off in the term, however long it is. It usually sells pretty close to the cost. So you might pay 90 cents on the dollar. That's kind of average. Some people pay more, some people pay less, but that's about what you're looking at getting. And I'll give you an example later if you're kind of wondering what that means, 90 cents on the dollar. It just means you're getting a slight discount. So you might buy $100,000 note for $80,000. And if it's 90 cents on the dollar, you'd be at $90,000. So you're just getting that little bit of a discount. Performing notes are great because they're lower risk. As I said before, if the buyer is paid on time for 5 years, the chance of them going into default is lower than it is somebody who hasn't paid on time. It's really passive income. Unlike everything else, you have to work hard for your money. When you buy a note, you literally sit there and just collect the interest. The money just goes in your bank account, especially if somebody else is servicing the note, you're not doing anything for it. Now, a non-performing note is something where if you want to put a little effort into it, it could be worth it because you're buying a note that hasn't been paid recently. The buyer maybe defaulted, hasn't paid at all. They've been late a lot in the past. And for this reason, you can buy that note for a really low price. The lender or private investor, whoever created the note, doesn't want to deal with the trouble of it, and they're willing to sell it off to you for super cheap. I don't have a price range on there because it could be like for a fraction of a cost, or it could be for closer to like 70 cents on the dollar. It just really depends on who you're buying it from and how motivated they are to get rid of it. Now, the downside, obviously, is that you have to take action. You might have to evict the person from the home. You might have to hound them, get on the phone with them every day until they actually pay it off. So again, it's more trouble, but it's also a bigger reward because you're getting more in the end. This is the basics of how note buying works. So first, you have to buy the note. You're going to talk to the lender, find out what notes they have available, and you are going to pay them whatever's owed, whatever's left on the note, that's what you're paying. And then you're going to sign paperwork for it. You're not just like paying them and then trusting them. You're going to sign the paperwork that outlines everything about the note. And from then on, from when you pay for it and sign the paperwork, the debt is owed to you. So you are the bank. The original lender is no longer the bank. You are the one who's collecting money from that borrower. And like I said, you might not actively be collecting it. You could have a servicer who's putting that money in your bank account, but you're the one who's getting paid. And so servicing again, like I said, some people like to use the servicer. A lot of times when you buy a note, you can actually keep the original servicer and you'll pay like again, the cost varies so much. You might pay like $50 a month for that. And a lot of people opt for that because again, if you really want passive income, that's it. You don't have to keep track of, hey, oh, I have to call them. They forgot to pay me. The servicer will take care of that. Now, the big thing about note buying is if there is a default, and that's always the risk in lending money, is that the borrower is not going to pay it off. If there's a default and you bought the note, it's your job to do something about it. So a lot of times that means evicting the borrower or the tenant. You have to go through that legal process, and it's not easy, but it's doable as long as the paperwork is all in the clear, which is something you want to check before you buy a note. As long as the paperwork is good, you can evict them. You get a new person in there and you get the money from them. So you're not losing money if there's a default necessarily. If you don't do anything about it, you're losing money. But as long as you can get that original borrower out and get someone new in there, then you're good. So let's look at this example because it's kind of hard to imagine without using it. Let's say you have a $150,000 note. That's pretty high for mobile home investing. Mobile home investing, you could be at $15,000, you could be at $80,000. I know, Kim, you got some homes you're selling for really high prices. So 150,000 actually isn't unheard of. It's just not that common. But let's say you buy the note for $95,000. So you're paying $95,000 out of your pocket for that note that's worth $150,000. Every month, based on the interest rate, you collect $800 from that borrower. Now, if you do the math, in 1 year, you're collecting $9,600. That works out to about a 10% return on your investment. So anyone who's kind of familiar with investment knows about ROI. That stands for return on investment. And that's how you can tell whether something is worth putting your money into it. I personally, I don't like tying up my money for 6% return on my investment. I'd rather use that to get a manufactured home, to flip it, to do something with it. But, if I'm looking at a 10%, 12% return, to me, it's worth it because my money is working for me and I'm not working. So you have to think about what ROI you're looking for. And then when you're buying notes, you factor that in there. So now why do people even opt to buy notes? Number one, like I talked about, is it's passive income. Once you buy it, you are done. You don't have to do anything unless there's a default. And even then, it's a one-time thing. It's also great to diversify. I cannot tell people enough. Like, even with just manufactured homes, you don't want to just do rentals. You don't want to just seller finance. What if something happens and in the market suddenly homes are too expensive? People don't want to buy them. They only want to rent. Well, if you've already diversified, you know how to do that. You don't have to pivot. You can easily go ahead and just rent out your homes instead of selling. That's another benefit of buying notes. It's just another way to put your money to use where if maybe you have a slow 6 months and you're not getting any leads, well, it doesn't matter because you had maybe two notes that were generating you $1,600 a month total. It's a great, great way just to take out that kind of risk of putting all your eggs in one basket. And there's also higher returns. If you like, say you could put your money in a savings account, you're not going to get a big return on that. You could put your money really in other investments and maybe, like I said, maybe you'll get 6%, 7%. But with notes, especially mobile home notes, you're getting a really high return compared to other things because people see it as a bigger risk. In reality, it's really not, and I'll go into why it's not. And it's a really low risk way to make an investment. You could put your money in the stock market, but nobody knows, even if you've studied it, nobody knows what's going to happen. If you're putting it into a note, you know that the risk is low. As long as you do your due diligence, there's not much of a risk there. And these are when you're buying a note to make sure you're making a good decision. These are kind of the things you look at, and these should be shared with you by anyone who's selling a note. Number one is the principal. And guys, this is really good to know just in general, because if you're dealing with financing, these are all things that a lender will talk about with the borrower. So if you're wholesaling on financing, you might get questions about it, and you can actually help answer those questions with this information. The principal is the loan amount. It's not how much the home is. It's the loan amount. So if a home is $80,000 and they're putting $10,000 down, that loan amount is 70,000. Then you have the interest rate. That's the amount that you charge the borrower each month. So like I said, like with Keyhole Connect, the interest rate usually is about 15, 16%. With 21st, it might be 14%. Every lender has a different interest rate. It's really, really important you learn what the interest rate is of the note, because like if you get a note for 8% interest rate, you're not getting much of a return. There's also the term, the length of the loan. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 30 years, 40 years. With manufactured homes, usually it's about 15 years, sometimes 20. And Keyhole does 10-year terms. It just depends on what lender you're working with. Then you have the actual repayment schedule. That's what a borrower looks at to see, okay, in year 5, I'll have paid off this much. It's the entire payment plan written out. If you're buying a note, you also want to make sure you have the borrower details. This is like the name, the address, the contact info. Your lender, whoever they are, should have gone through an underwriting process. And that means they should have credit info on the borrower, their credit score, their credit history, things that'll let you know, okay, this borrower is a good option. Or, if you take a look and see somebody's had 2 evictions or somebody owes, $20,000 in debt, then that borrower might not be a good choice. You also have the default terms. That's really important to look at because you want to know there's consequences if the borrower is late or if they don't pay it off at all. There should be some kind of clause in there that says if they don't pay, you're going to be able to get the home back. And these are all things you need to look at in the paperwork before you buy, because yeah, you could make a really bad purchase. There could be no late payment. Well, then what if they pay late, every single time? You're missing out on that money. And finally, the last thing that's really important to look at is the security on the loan. Some loans have collateral and some loans have a guarantee. That basically gives you some protection. Collateral might be, maybe they put their car up where if they don't make their home payment, you can repossess their car. That's not too common. More common is, you have a guarantee on it. Like Keyhole Connect has somebody guaranteeing all the loans, where if the borrower defaults, then there's an outside investor who agrees to make those monthly payments and sell off the home. As the note owner, that means that you're getting paid even if the borrower defaults. So you want to look into what kind of security there is for you. What's in it for you if the borrower doesn't actually pay. And as you're kind of analyzing a note and trying to decide if it's worth you buying, you can look at all these things, but I will say if you're buying from a reputable lender, they go through a strict underwriting process. All the big lenders, all the small lenders have to go through underwriting through a licensed mortgage loan originator. And that means they're looking at things like credit score, DTI, everything on this list. They're looking at the payment history, the value of the home. They're looking at all that as they go through the loan to make sure the borrower actually is a good borrower and they're not going to default. So, I mean, if you're not working with a lender and you're working with a note broker, which those guys exist, then you want to really analyze the credit score, the DTI. Otherwise, you're looking at the payment history, make sure you're buying a performing note, or if you're buying a non-performing note, you can take a look at that too. You want to know the home value because you don't want to buy a note for $40,000 on a home that you think is worth 20. So look at the home value, the collateral that's up, the company's reputation. If you're buying from a lender, again, not such a big deal, but if you're buying from a note buyer or note broker, you want to make sure that they don't have a bad reputation. They sell crap loans, basically. And then you look at the payment schedule, is there a prepayment penalty? Because that could affect you. If there's no prepayment penalty and somebody pays it off really quick, then you might not be interested in that. And this is a little bit, here's an example, and it's because I'm most familiar with it, notes with Keyhole. So Keyhole Connect sells off their notes. And the benefits are basically there's always a guarantor. So, like I talked about before, there's always someone who's going to take over those payments if the borrower defaults. Now, that's not to say you would never have to evict, but it really minimizes the risk there. The returns are also pretty high. They're around 12%. So again, you put up, let's say $20,000 every month, you're making a pretty good return on that. And then a strict underwriting process. Everyone has to look like they're going to be able to afford those homes. And the default rate is about 4%. So it's pretty low. It's really uncommon to deal with that. And the loan terms are shorter than some other lenders because it's about 5 to 10 years. And you could even do something where we have infill loans. So basically, you might buy a note that's 2 years old and it's going to get paid off in the third year because it's from a park owner who's selling off that home. Um, that's pretty much it. I don't have a ton of information on how you can buy notes like from what 21st offers as far as notes go, things like that. But what I will say, you guys can go to paperstack.com and I'm gonna put it in the chat so you guys can see. I think I'm spelling it right. It's actually they sell notes. So you can buy notes on there. They have some mobile home notes, they have mortgage notes, and they have all different kinds of notes. If you're interested in getting into note buying, it's a really good option. I personally think that after you put aside some money from flips, from wholesaling, things like that, it's great to get a few notes or at least one note to start with. Just because, like I said before, if things slow down for you, you'll have that money coming in. You can use the money from the notes for marketing. You can use the money that you get from notes to help your wholesale or flipping business, or, if you own a park, whatever. It's just extra income and it's passive income. So you make more without having to put in as much work. Now I'm going to kind of open it up for questions because I know I covered a lot here. Does anyone have any questions on it?
First off, I want to say great job. Like this was a great understanding and understand what notes is. This is like fire right here. I give this presentation 10 out of 10. You killed it. I just had to give you your gems, give you your flowers while I could.
Appreciate it. Let me ask, is anyone interested or curious about note buying in here?
At
Or has
some point,
anybody done it?
at some point down the road, definitely interested. I have a park. I contract for a company that wants to sell off their notes, and I could not find an investor interested in buying any of their notes.
You should check out PaperStack because you can list them on there and you might be able to get buyers. But that's the thing. They have mobile home notes, Danielle?
Yes, they do. They were doing their own seller financing, and they're trying to get it off of their books so that they can refi. Um, so yeah, they still have a desire to do that. And
There
they
are
offered, um, they also have rentals too. They even offered to sell their rental properties with the tenant in them.
And I know there's a huge market for that. I mean, for a while, I was looking to buy home that already had a renter in there. Especially for people doing it remotely, it's nice because you don't have to worry about finding the tenant if they already have someone in there. Again, it's kind of a little bit more passive, except you do have to deal with the troubles of renting. But there are people, I've met a couple people who exclusively buy and sell mobile home notes. The cool thing about it is it's such a small niche. It's not popular yet. So if you try to buy a mortgage note, especially now, you're going to pay a lot of money for it because it's a saturated market. But for mobile homes, because a lot of people still undervalue them, it's not saturated. There's not a lot of people in it. So you can get a really good deal. Like the park owner you're talking about, they probably would sell them off for a really fair price just because there's not a lot of competition for it. But definitely check out Paper Stack because that might be an option for you to sell them for them.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I got a question. Hey guys, this is Kim. Sorry, it's loud in the background. My mom has a TV up loud, so I apologize. But okay, so for buying notes, Paper Stack, is that someplace that has a lot of mobile home notes? And Danielle, I'd like to talk to you offline about the notes. And then I also want to see if we do something where we can, like I don't, Danny probably knows, but I have at least 10 notes. So we create notes on our property. So you can actually create a lot of passive income on notes. So are we going to do something where we teach how to do notes or something like that, or the underwriting process, any of those things that go along with creating a note? And back to my original, which was, is there another place besides PaperStack that has specifically mobile home notes?
For mobile home notes alone, I've encountered a couple of brokers who deal in them. There's also a company called Amerinote. I'll put that in the chat too. And they just started, kind of like how I was saying with the single family home market, it's gotten priced out. I think it's amerinote.com. They started venturing into manufactured homes like last year. And so they might be a good opportunity. And Danielle, I just thought of them now for you too, but for you and Kim both to talk to them about and see if they're currently buying any. I don't, they were about 6 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. So it might be worth reaching out to them too. That's an option. For mobile homes, you really need to find like a mobile home note broker or go directly to the source. Like I said, like Keyhole, like we don't even have them listed anywhere. We just talk to investors and sometimes they're interested in buying. Um, it'd be great if there was a resource out there just for mobile home notes because I think a lot of more people are starting to see the value in it. And to answer your question about like the underwriting process, I'm actually a couple weeks away from taking the MLO exam. For those of you who don't know, that's the mortgage loan originator. So I can definitely go into a lot of detail about qualifying the buyers and things like that. But in reality, I think I've mentioned this to you before, Kim, like if you're seller financing, you really need to work with a licensed MLO just because, I mean, even I, who's been studying like 5 hours a day for the past 2 weeks, I don't know everything about it. There's so much that goes into it. And if you violate the SAFE Act, the fines are insane. Like I can't even believe for phone calls, if you make a phone call to somebody who's on the do not call list or things like that, it's like a 43,700 and something dollar fine. Some of the fines are, $10,000 or 1 year in prison, things like that. So they are not messing around. They really want to make sure there's no predatory lending. And unfortunately, I mean, that predatory lending is a terrible thing, but unfortunately, the restrictions make it really, really hard to seller finance without violating any of the SAFE Act. Does that kind of cover it, Kim?
So it does. And I'm specifically kind of thinking about Ask the Underwriter because I know Dan just emailed me today saying he took over for Max and Michelle. So
Mhm.
that's a company that can make sure that the loans are Dodd-Frank compliant. Are there other companies besides, because I like Ask the Underwriter, but are there other companies besides them that do the same thing in the event someone wants to create a note?
I have not found any that really like freelance like that sort of. Most of the underwriters I've found don't do that sort of thing. They don't work with like individuals. But I'm always on the lookout. So if I find any other options, I'll definitely let you know. I know it's good to have different options, and I know call the underwriter is great, but yeah, there's got to be more than them out there. I just don't know who they are.
Okay. Thank you.
No
And
problem.
like I said, if anyone else is interested in creating notes, that it creates a great opportunity for cash flow. So you guys keep that like on your radar.
I'm a huge proponent on seller financing because yeah, it really is. I renting, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't like the work that goes into it. I like selling a home on seller financing, being done with it, but still getting that monthly paycheck. And it really is, it's as close as you can get to passive income without buying, just buying notes.
And have you ever created a note on a wholesale deal?
I haven't. No.
Love it.
That's a really good idea, yeah.
Great job once again, Danny.
Can you can you let Kim talk a little bit more about creating a note on a wholesale deal?
Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
Okay, so basically on a deposit on a wholesale deal, we work with different lenders like a Keyhole or like a I won't use 21st Mortgage again, just FYI. So like a local credit union. And sometimes people can get qualified, but they don't have enough money for the down payment. So if the down payment, we always require like 15,000 down, the lender may say you only need 6,000. So they're short. So what we do is finance the difference. So we finance that over terms anywhere from 5 years, 2 years, 5 years, basically making their payments affordable. So if you've got 10 people paying you $180, $200 a month, and then you've got another 10 people paying you $1,500 a month, that creates great passive income. So if you want to know more about the details, then you can reach out to me offline and I can
Thank you
give you.
so much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Dropping them bombs, huh, Kim?
We can't put it all out there, but I will give specifics to individuals. So
Let's go. I'm loving that. Um, well, if nobody don't got no more questions about notes, which was a game changer, I'm telling you. Let's go into Q&A and let's see where everybody at right now inside their journey, and let's see how we can help. Tamisha, let's start with you because you've been making a lot of noise, girl. You've been making a lot of noise. I want to hear what's going on with you and how everything's going over there.
Hey, so I did it was, I guess you'd call it an informal open house.
Hold on, everybody. Before we go, everybody tell Danny great job tonight. Or she done jumped
Hi,
out.
Danny, good job.
She already got out of there. She got to get to the kids. Yeah, no, go ahead, Tamisha.
I was just saying the mama home community, two ladies messaged, I still have people messaging me, messaged me about the property. They actually showed up on Sunday and they're going through the pre-qualification process.
Let's go. And you went ahead and made that. Listen, I saw you made that video. I was too happy. I was like watching my kid walk for the first time or something, man. I was like, yes, yes. A visual. And you did a real good job too. So I'm proud of you. And look what came. Did that come from the videos or did you post this on Marketplace?
I haven't posted anything on Marketplace yet. What's crazy is the actual property still hasn't sold. So that's something I'll be working on between probably tomorrow because I'm exhausted right now. But for sure I'm posting it on Marketplace. It still hasn't sold. I haven't
Now,
tried.
quick question. They already got it on Marketplace or no?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. You just want to be on the same page, with them. And then you don't want to because what'll happen is let's say I posted that house in with the address and you posted that house with the address. Sometimes the marketplace gonna give one of us the boot. You know what I'm saying?
Got it. I'll double check with them because it may be listed
Yeah.
under a different name or something like that.
Yeah, they might have one of the workers posted it or
We'll
something
definitely
like that.
thank you for
And this is the good thing about it. Let's say they say, yeah, they got that person. And then well, you can let them know, well, I can handle all of that for you. The calls, the qualification part, getting them right here to the front door. I can handle all of that for you guys and take that off your, especially if it's somebody who works in the office and that way you can let them know they could just focus on making sure whenever I get I can filter through all of those people for you guys and make sure I get them here. That's how you make yourself, valuable to to those people. But no,
I
that's
had with the guy, the dude actually submitted my name for a job with them. So I sent them my resume and I'm waiting to hear back from him. He said he was very impressed. I did follow up today. But I have not actually had an interview with the guy. He wants somebody to manage his park in Greer. However, give me access to actually sell the homes and make my own commission from the property that from the space where I'm talking about right now. It'll put me in a different position in that regard. So it takes out the middleman. Um,
boom.
yes. So yeah, I did mention to him about the marketing piece, but they have somebody that is quote unquote supposed to be doing the marketing. So I kind of backed down a little bit, but I'm just taking it moment by moment at this point. I did.
Remember what we said, the best value is bringing that money to the front door. Ain't nothing like you bringing the money to the front door. You got to see about me now. You know?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Well,
And
yeah,
so
no, that sounds good. Yeah, you go. You go. All right. You go. And I saw you got you got your signs in? You got some cards in? What was it?
my cards in. I
Mhm.
got my cards in. Yep, I'm putting those out.
Great. I think it's time to definitely talk to you about getting you to CRM and getting you set up because you about to start getting a bunch of leads coming through and it's going to tear that damn phone up. I'm telling you.
It already is. It already is low key.
Yeah, so we'll set up a call or something like that for tomorrow. Me and you get on the same page for that. I love it, man.
The
That's
other,
what I'm talking about, man. You
yeah,
you realized 2-3 weeks ago you ain't
no,
had no emotion.
I was sad and depressed.
You ain't hey, and look at you now. Let's go.
To be honest. The other thing is that the gentleman who I spoke with, he is still selling that mobile home. He sent me pictures, and I'll try to figure out how to upload them to the community because I really don't know, quote unquote, what to offer him. I did speak with the lady in this area. What did you say her name was? Is it Shamika? Was it Shamika?
Yeah, that's Shamika right there. She on
Yeah.
here. Well, she was on here just a minute ago.
She said that property will not be available until this weekend. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I have been in communication with him and his girlfriend in that
And
regard.
they wanted to rent that property, right?
No, they want to actually sell they have to pretty much sell the mobile home or
Oh,
find,
okay. Yeah, that's this the transition lead. This the one we transitioning.
yes, yes. So
Perfect.
I've been in communication with them.
Now
And
you need to go see that. You need to go see that house in person. And while you're there, do another video, another one. This
Shamika's
one, this
or
one. Go ahead.
you talking about Shamika's or theirs?
Theirs. You need to do a video, and while you're there, go. First of all, you need to go put your hands on it and go see it anyway. Go check everything out, you
Okay.
know, and then you got to make sure there ain't no liens, taxes. Like we just dropped the buy.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I
Yeah,
know
you
it's
need to make sure you check all of that off. That's why I put it in the Google Sheets to-do list thing. So on your phone, you can just check what you did and you can put the notes on the side so you can stay focused or just print it out and then you could just write it down. But you need to make sure you do that. But now that's good. And the reason I say that is because what's happening beyond all of the other great things that's going on is you're actually creating a brand for yourself that you deal in this
yeah.
space. You see what I'm saying?
When I recorded that video, it was like I don't know, it was like a light bulb type of thing. I'll say it awakened the baby in me type of situation. I've always been passionate about real estate, but standing there recording that video, it was almost like this is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing. Felt comfortable, felt natural. It just felt like this is my space type of
Like,
thing.
yo, you really was a
Yeah,
natural. I ain't
yeah,
even trying to
you
gas you
were.
right now. Like,
You
you was
were.
mad natural. I was like, yo, about to give me a run for my content. But man,
Hey,
the more you
I'm
just gotta
recording
do it.
for
Just
you.
do it. You saying everything you already know, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I want to see everybody in the community in front of the camera. Don't run from the camera, y'all. This is it is 2024. You have to be in there. You got to set the brand. And then next thing you know, people calling you and hitting you up, and you getting new leads everywhere just off of that. So
Yep.
love it. I'm glad I started with you. You got me hyped. And shoot me a text. We'll get on the call tomorrow or something like that. See what's going on.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go to Miss Keisha. What's up? How you doing? I'll drop it inside the community, inside this Zoom chat, and I just posted it in the community, but I'll drop it again for you. Keisha, you here? Keisha. Keisha, you here? Just letting the Zoom run, huh? It's all good. Angel, what's been up with you, man? Come on now. Top dog.
What's
Yeah,
going on, dear?
top
Now,
dog.
Tamisha knocked me off my spot, but I'm gonna get it back. I don't mind giving it up. I don't mind giving it up.
Let's
No.
go. What
Sometimes
you
you need somebody to challenge you. I love it. Tamisha, you did do a great job. I was proud of you too.
Thank you.
Because
And
I
I
just
appreciate your support. I really do. Thank you.
yeah, I love that. I love seeing people win because if God is doing it for you, that means He can do it for me too. And so I'm super happy about the things that He's doing in your life. And so I finally closed today. I finally got paid on the last deal I did.
Hey, hold up. Can you get on camera real quick?
Oh my goodness. I'm not looking you
It don't
excuse me,
matter.
sir. Excuse me, sir. You have me all over the universe looking like who did it and what for.
Come on ahead. Jump on here and acknowledge yourself.
Oh my God. Let's see.
There she go. Now,
Um,
now, now what you done out here now? Let them know.
Okay, so about 20 some days ago, got the home under contract. It was got under contract for 2,000, sold it for 6,500, so brought home 45. So super happy about that.
Oh,
Super happy
yes.
about that.
Let's
So
go.
yeah,
Everybody give the props to that, man.
Hey.
Another 4K in
Hey.
the bag.
thank you, Jesus. Thank y'all. Appreciate that.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
excited
look
about
at
that.
Angel out there
So
being an angel to them out there providing that affordable housing.
portable housing, I love it. I love it. This
That's
actually was a son-in-law buying it for his father-in-law, and so I thought that was a pretty cool. You hear about the in-law suites in the back of homes. He's actually using a mobile home for his father-in-law, so that's another angle, guys, to kind of market because we still got these baby boomers out here, and people don't want to. It's expensive to put your parents into a nursing facility or a senior home, but to get a mobile home, that's a good deal. So
Yeah, I like how you using your brain on the marketing. That's a tip right there. Where
yeah,
you got this lead from?
bandit sign,
Come on.
bandit sign. So
Did
I
they tell
believe
you
in the
which
bandit.
band sign it was? Which
He
one
actually
was
he
that?
actually did. So I a lot of times when I'm coming off the highway and I'm getting ready to go near a mobile home, I'll put right where I know people have to stop right off the highway. I'll put a sign right there. So he told me he had just saw it off the highway when he got off, and I actually had just put that sign out. So like the same day he called me.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
same day he called me. So
That's
yeah,
what I'm
so
talking about.
super excited. So gonna take some of that money, invest in some, as Kim tells us, but get them and Danielle, get those car magnets. I'm getting ready to get my car magnets. I'm getting ready to get some more
Bandit
bandit
signs.
signs. This time I'm gonna get the ones that I don't have to write. I'm gonna upgrade.
Now
Do a
listen,
Beyonce and
listen,
upgrade.
listen. This is the biggest thing I want to say to everybody. You want to repeat successful actions, okay? Can everybody just listen to that, what I said? Repeat successful actions. So what I would do, yeah, I would go half and half. You feel me? I would
Mhm.
go half writing have kind of brandyish, or giving it a different vibe. The reason is because that worked, and they might have felt more comfortable knowing that somebody wrote that thing. It's like a letter that somebody either writes you, or they went to Hallmark and just sent you the 25-cent joint. You know what I'm saying? It's like they took the time to do this. This seems like a real person on this side. So, like I said, repeat the successful actions. And I'm gonna be honest. You've been closing a lot of deals lately, and that could be the case because they're looking at those ones that's written, and they don't feel like it's a company behind it. They feel like it's a human being behind it who actually into this. So yeah, like Kim just said, reinvest into your business. I would go 1/4. I would test 1/4 with, like, the newer looking signs and stuff, and I'll double down on. I'll get triple of what I got on bandit size, and write them, even if I got to take a day or a week to just write them things out, or
Okay.
spend that little extra money you would have spent for the nice, sexy little cards, and just maybe give it to maybe one of the kids or something like that to help you write them out. Hey, let me give you a little extra paper, help me write these things out in a day. So.
Okay.
Man, I love to hear that. Great job.
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you.
The vibes in here tonight. You got Miss Kim dropping straight Jimmy tings,
Oh yes.
big gems. Yeah, I'm loving it, man. Tamisha, man, oh my gosh, Angel, man, y'all, I'm proud of y'all, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
And shout out to Kim. Kim, I'm loving your posts in the group. Please keep it up. I pay
Yeah,
attention. Like I put the jokes in there that I'm writing notes, but I really am writing notes. So keep
Yeah.
dropping those gems. I appreciate it.
yeah.
I definitely
Everybody.
screenshotted that list. I was like, I'm making a hit. I'm gonna get my outfits checked. Got my boots. I'm gonna have to buy me one. You know, the contractors had them little metal clipboards. I
Hey, you
started.
gotta, you gotta, you gotta step out. You gotta come with it with everything you need. I know I step in my boots every time, man. I used to get comments on my boots on my videos. Boy, you got some big old boots on. I used to be like, yep, because I done stepped on a nail in here before, and I've been
Oh
looking
wow.
stupid. Yeah,
Oh wow. I never thought
yeah,
about that.
yeah. You
You know
step.
what? I hadn't thought about that either. I was thinking about it because sometimes we go in some homes that are infested with some stuff, and I say, okay, these are the traveling boots. They don't go in the house. They go in a bag. I just go. These are the ones that go in the house. And then who mentioned the tape measure? I don't know how many times.
Oh yeah, Danielle
That
did.
tape
I put mine
measure.
in the car today. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I keep my
And
phone
that
in my,
screwdriver,
but
that
yeah.
you stick it in the dirt, the end of that tape measure, stick it in the dirt, and just roll that thing out.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
What did you say do with the screwdriver, Danielle?
You stick it in the end in the dirt
Yeah,
so you can figure out
yeah. Then
the
you
shape.
hold it.
Do you have the
Oh,
100 foot one, or you have the little one that can clip on your belt? Because I have the 100 foot one too, and it's got the little thing on the end where you can stick it in the dirt and then
Oh,
just
that's
roll it
fire.
out.
That's fire. I
can
didn't
you post
make
that in the
those.
group, Kim? I didn't know they made those either.
It's
You
from
might
Harbor Freight. I
drop the
will definitely,
Amazon link.
yeah, I'll do that.
Yo, just go to Home Depot. I'm pretty sure Home Depot or Lowe's. I probably didn't overlook that. I'm about to go grab me one tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get me some good boots though. I got the Doc Martens, man. I go grab the Doc Martens when they on sale. Especially around Black Friday, Christmas. This the time to get you some big boy boots right here, man. The nail ain't gonna see a thing in them. Or get them steel toes, them real worker boots. Something if it go. I'm literally came home one time. I heard something scratching on the floor. I was like, "Ooh, the boots saved me again." I'm telling you, get you some thick boots with the
They got
thick
them at
toe.
Marshalls now. I mean, at Ross and
Yeah,
TJ.
you can get them at Ross. You can get them anywhere. They used to be
And
too.
Tim said something too. Folks be having stuff. You need them boots.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the boots, man. That's good. Well, that's good, y'all. I hope everybody learned something today. Like I said, make sure y'all drop everything y'all put some notes in tonight about what y'all learned inside the community before y'all go to sleep while it's fresh on your mind. Make sure y'all download that mobile home buying checklist. If you got a printer, go ahead print that thing out. If you got it on your phone, go ahead and save it on your phone so that way you can pull it up. And then if you got multiple properties that you're working on and looking at, you can make a copy of it and then you can rename it and it'll be inside your Google account. So you can be like, property on 123 Main Street, mobile home buying checklist, make a copy. Property on 231 Main Street, same thing. So just make sure you guys use that. And Kim, I guess you already dropped this inside the community before, but drop it in the community with the actual link, please. I would love, they need that. Everybody need that. Yeah, and if you got any questions about the note buying and everything, make sure y'all get with Danny, or just drop the questions literally in the community so everybody can learn from it. And then next week, make sure everybody invite a friend or family member, man, to come join the family. I love how this is. I love this space with all of us. Everybody here get along. Everybody got the right vibes. So I mean, I just love it, man. I appreciate y'all for just taking the knowledge and running with it. Everybody got some good things coming up for them, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week, man. It was a great call, man. I'm really excited. You guys got me really excited. I'm not even gonna lie. Well, with that being said, anybody got any more questions or anything before we close out for the night? No. Well, all right, y'all.
I just posted that in the group, just so you know.
Okay, great. Good job. And yeah, man, with that being said, I'll drop the replay with this inside of the community, and yeah, let's go from there. I'll see you guys next week. Okay. Any questions, anything, just drop it in the community, or shoot me a text. I got you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Hey.